Welcome, welcome everyone. We are so glad that you were able to join. My name is Monique Bird and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications for the College of Education here at the University of Texas of Arlington. This is an information session specifically for our Master of Education in Mind, Brain, and Education. And so if perhaps you're interested in another program, you are more than welcome to stay here and follow along. We're more than happy to have you here. But if this is not quite the fit for you, you can just send us a quick message in the chat and we're happy to connect you with something that's better. Or if you're not sure, this is also just a good place if you just want to learn a little bit more about this program, not exactly sure you want where you want to land. This is going to be a really good spot for you to just learn and explore. Joining me today, we have Dr. Daniel Robinson. He's one of our associate deans here at the college, as well as the program director for this program. And so he's going to have lots of good information to share with you, as well as Christina Jones. She is one of our academic recruiters, as well as Ted Kuda, who is also one of our academic recruiters. And so we're so happy to have all of them join our team. Like I said before, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. We will be trying to answer some of those as we go along, but a lot of those we'll save for the end. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and pass it on to Dr. Daniel Robinson. Dan? And Dan, I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Dan.
One of those things where you have to have your laptop open to be able to have the microphone. So anyway,
certainly get that.
Sorry about that. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone who's joining us tonight and who's going to watch our recorded version of this. Excited to get the word out about our program. The MED in Mind, Brain, and Education has been at the University of Texas at Austin for a little over 10 years, but recently we have sort of revamped it. We lost the faculty member who first started the program, and I've joined the program in the last couple of years, and we just admitted our first cohort in a couple of years this fall. We have new students in a completely online program. And right now we're teaching synchronously because we have people in mountain time zones, central time zones, so it all works out. We can do asynchronously if we need to. But anyway, this program is really neat. It's really designed for educators or anybody in the business world who's interested in advancing their career by learning more about how people learn best and how you could teach best. We've even got kind of a cool class that's called debunking sort of, fads in education, which is one I'm teaching right now. So this is a neat program. This is I can comfortably say the most exciting master's program I've been associated with in my 30 years in higher education. So again, we're looking for people who are excited about advancing their careers, who want to take on a new role, or just learn things to become a better educator. Yeah. Ready for the next slide. What can you expect? What we're looking for in applicants? Well, I've already covered that just a little bit, but we dive into educational neuroscience. We talk specifically about how the brain works, how it affects learning, and how certain instruction goes best, and so on. We also cover specific neurology in terms of learning math and language. And then, we have a couple of research courses. We allow 9 hours or 3 courses of electives in case someone would like to specialize in, let's say, special education, learning disabilities, or psychology, or something like that. So we have some good flexibility in the program. But what we're looking for in applicants are sort of those folks, I think, that would like to really dig down into the science behind much of what we do in education. And I think we especially cater to folks who are in their current jobs and sort of feel frustrated with constantly being told and pushed to do things that there's probably not much research behind. And those are the best kind of students we're looking for. So thank you.
Lovely. Dan, we have a quick question in the chat, wondering who is this program a good fit for? They're trying to figure out if they might be able to fit well in this program.
Yeah, so we have probably about 70 to 80% of the folks in our program come from education, and many of them are former educators or current educators. But we do occasionally get people from the business world, like I said. But this is a really good fit for teachers, administrators who, again, are really looking into learning more about the whole prospect of teaching and learning, and diving into the science behind what really seems to be effective and also what seems to definitely not be effective.
And I'm sorry, before we go on, there's one more question. Courses, you mentioned one of the classes, the debunking myths and things like that. Any other kind of interesting courses? I have someone asking, just wanting to know more about the types of classes that they can expect to take.
Well, one that I'm just, as we're speaking today, that I'm working on revamping a little bit is we have two introductory courses. One is Introduction to Educational Neuroscience, which one of our faculty, Dr. Jody Tomerdal, teaches, which is kind of a very broad introduction to educational neuroscience, how neuroscience works in the classroom, and so on. The other one is Introduction to Mind, Brain, and Education. And that's the course I've been working on. That's another course that's going to sort of be mine, so to speak, in the sense that I teach it. But what I've been doing with that course recently is since we have a debunking class, we need to balance that out by having another class in terms of, well, what really works? What does the science support? And what should we be doing, and so on. So in that class, that's going to be really fun. We're going to offer it for the first time, revamped in January. That one's going to talk about everything that we absolutely can endorse that we know works in terms of teaching, education, and just learning in business in general. So that's a good course. Yeah.
Lovely. And I love what you had to say. We're going to have Christina talk next, but just before she starts, I want to take a moment to introduce Ted. Ted is actually new to the team, so we're super excited. He's been here, I think 2 weeks. I'll let him tell you exactly how long he's been here. But Ted is pretty awesome. And so because he's new, we've got Christina. She's going to do most of the talking, and he's largely observing. But if you do have questions about the program and you want to follow up with the recruiter, Ted will be your contact in the future. So before we go to Christina, I will go to Ted and let him just say a quick hello.
Hello, everybody. I just started out about 2 weeks ago. I'm happy to be here and ready to get going for y'all. Anything y'all need, just email or shoot me a call.
Perfect. And Ted will put his contact information in the chat. And then we also have that at the end of this as well. And with that, we will let Christina just talk a little bit more about our programs in general.
Thank you, Monique. So as Dr. Robinson said earlier, we do have, in terms of what we offer for this program, the flexibility of having our program 100% online. So as he mentioned, some of those classes could be synchronously or done asynchronously. That will be up to their discretion, but that is something that can be a really big draw for students. So if you're coming from out of state or in state, this is a program that can be very applicable to you. It's also 30 credit hours, just to give you kind of an estimate of how long that would take you. So that could be around 2 years. There is no thesis required for the program. So if that was a concern, you don't have to worry about that. You also don't have to take any type of certification exams. This is not, again, certifying you to be a teacher by any means. So that's why you don't have to worry about that. And as of right now, we do not have a GRE or GMAT requirement. So you don't have to worry about taking those exams, which I've done before, so count yourself blessed. So UTA is also designated both as a Texas Tier 1 institution and a Carnegie Tier 1 university. Only, I believe, 4 other universities in the state of Texas have been granted that Texas Tier 1 label. So we're very proud of that. It just means we have a really great college for you to do your research at. Also, it's very affordable comparatively for other programs, especially when it comes to in-state and out-of-state student tuition. If you do go online at our tuition estimator for UTA, it may have a little bit of a different price point, but because, again, this program is 100% online, it would be probably a little bit cheaper than what you would see if you were looking on there for a price point. We also obviously have dedicated faculty like Dr. Robinson, who's here with us today, and mentorship opportunities. So then you can get lots of support while you're going through the program. And then we, of course, have the specialized expertise and advanced career opportunities for you for completing this program. So lots of great things to offer through our program. So I talked about it a little bit on the previous slide, but just to kind of give you a better snapshot of what you may see on the tuition estimator and what we're, again, a more realistic amount of what the program would cost. For the spring 22 or 2022 semester tuition and fees for a Texas or in-state resident, it would be about $3,300. Again, that is for just a semester. That is not the whole tuition. For a non-resident, it's just going to be a little bit higher at $3,500 or $3,500. So again, this is estimated, as it says below, for a part-time U.S. resident. So part-time meaning you're doing, I believe, less than 9 hours is what qualifies someone as part-time. So this is just more realistic because we're assuming that you're working and then doing school part-time. So that's why it's on a 6-hour basis for this, again, MBE program. And again, the total will vary based on some individual circumstances, but that's just to give you a sample cost.
And I'm sorry, Christina, we have a question in the chat just asking about the tuition estimator. So you were saying that number that students find on that is probably going to be a little bit higher just because this program has a different price structure. Is that what you were saying?
Yes. So again, because the tuition estimator is going to most likely be estimating based on a face-to-face interface, that would be a little bit more, whereas this program, again, is all 100% online. That's why it would be a little bit less. And it's, again, a unique program, so it's going to have unique price structure. So then in terms of deadlines, if all of that sounds great and you're thinking, okay, now how do I apply? When do I need to apply by? For this 2021 fall semester, the application date was July 1st. So if for some reason you're wanting to start next fall, that's just to give you kind of a rough estimate as to when it would be for the next fall semester. For this coming spring 22 semester, you would need to apply by November 1st. So you still have some time if you're wanting to get your application items in and reviewed and accepted to be in the program, hopefully. And then if you're looking to start in the summer, a little bit more pushed out, give yourself a little more time before starting this program, then you have until April 1st. And that's not a joke. Been asked that in the past. It's not an April Fool's Day joke. It's actually what the deadline is.
Thank you, Christina. I've actually never noticed that. So thank you for clarifying.
It's been brought up, so I thought I would mention. So then in terms of just like to give you a checklist of what your steps would be, you obviously want to apply to UTA on applytexas.org. You'll pay the application fee. Right now, it's about $75, depending on, if you're an international student versus not, and some other things, it may be a little bit more. So just keep that in mind. If you don't submit your application fee when you're doing your admissions application, you can pay it online. So if you need to wait on that, you can. But then you'll also need to submit your official documents to UTA. So we do have on our UTA catalog the official submission requirements. So you can always check that out. I'm sure Monique can post in the chat what that URL is if you need that. You also want to submit your FAFSA because I believe this program does qualify for financial aid, and Dr. Robinson can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then you, of course, if you get accepted in the program, you'll want to look up your application status on your MyMav account, which you will get a student ID number after applying to UTA. And then you can accept your admission. And then you can also accept your financial aid if any is in your account. And again, all that is going to be on your MyMav student account.
Yeah, and I just want to add, once you apply, I believe you can you can create your MyMav account at that point. Is that correct, Christina?
Yes. So that is definitely an option for students. If they, again, are interested in the program, sorry, my cat.
We'll say hello to the cat.
Yes. But then once you have all that set up, you do want to make sure that you are checking in with the graduate advisor for this program. Just so then if you're missing any application items, they'll be the ones to help you figure that out. And then of course, they're going to also be the ones to help you register for classes. So you can always talk to faculty if you need to, but your advisor is definitely the best resource for that because that's pretty much a big part of their job.
Yeah, and I definitely just want to add, we're not enrolling cats at this time. So
No.
if you do have cats joining for the information session or any other pets, we are not accepting those applications at
Right.
this time. But that's really good. And I know this, we tried to break down the steps to make them really clear. But of course, if y'all have any questions, we are more than happy. I'm very happy to report Christina's on my team, Ted's on my team. We have a few other people, and all of us on our team, we all believe in higher education. We're all either pursuing master's degrees or we have one. And then obviously, Dr. Robinson, to get to his level, he's had to have a few degrees as well. So if you have any questions about the process, don't hesitate to reach out. We're very much happy to help everyone just figure out, what's next. If you're confused, if you have questions, there's really no question that we probably have not received. And with that, I will let Ted just say hello and just kind of remind you of your next steps.
Okay, guys, the next step is to go ahead and contact me, and we can start going through the checklist to see what we need, and what things we're missing and what things we already have, and where we can get going with that. Right there's my email address. If you just send me an email, we can set up a time and we'll get going with it.
And that is pretty much just here. We're just reiterating all the contact info, and we will send out a link to this presentation. So if you need to click on that link, there is a link to schedule an appointment with Berhani. So Ted is really a good point of contact. When you're early in the process, you're trying to figure out, is this a right fit for me? When do I want to start? I've got some questions about the program and I just want to learn a little bit more. Ted is going to be your person for answering those questions. And you can reach him via email as well as on our website. He actually has a link where you can schedule an appointment with him, but sometimes email is a little bit easier for people when they're just kind of getting started. Once you get to that point, as you know, you'll go through all the application steps. Before you can actually register for classes, you'll have to talk to your advisor. And at that point, this time, your advisor is going to be a woman named Berhani. She's super great and she's more than happy to help, but she does get a little bit busy because she's very popular. And so you'll want to schedule an appointment with her and she'll just go through you, make sure you've got all the stuff you need and make sure you're on track for your degree. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. I did want to make sure no one else on our line had anything else to say, and then we'll move into the Q&A portion. Okay, I think I'll take that as a positive sign. They were more than happy with everything that we said. Again, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And I apologize, I'm the one who made the PowerPoint, and I'm just realizing I put the contact information for Christine Pruitt. She is our certification officer, but this program, as Christina mentioned, does not have a certification component. So please don't let that confuse you. That was my mistake. I'm going to blame it on the fact that I'm the marketing director. So you never want to come to me with questions. But other than that, I'm so happy that you all were able to join. Put your questions in the chat, or you can reach out to us any of these different ways to follow up with questions. And we are more than happy to help you make those, get those answers and make your decisions. And with that, I guess we will let all of our, we're going to end the recording at this point. And so we will let everyone who is viewing this after the fact go and have a lovely, lovely day and a lovely week. Thanks, guys.